Ladies and gentlemen, Untitled Chapter here, and welcome to a news update. Now today, we've got some good news. 3.8 is actually in its first wave at the moment, so some really cool content coming up. Don't forget to hit the bell button, and that will keep you notified of when I go live with the streaming. Outside of that, what have we got coming up for the rest of the year? Now, the next patch after 3.8 will be 3.9. Let's run through some of the things we can expect to see in 3.9, which comes in Q1 next year. Starting off with the character aspect, we've got the prisoner's uniform. We have a new mission giver coming into play. We've got the Microtech collection coming into play, and this is the characters' clothing that they wear in Microtech. Bounty Hunter armor. One of the really cool things that's coming in is one of the automated prisons that's coming into play. Quite surprising that was actually in this patch, to be fair. New Babbage landing zone interiors. There's 3 Microtech moons coming in. Rest stop stations unoccupied. I'm hoping they do some gameplay with this as well. There's one thing being unoccupied, but I'd like to see some maybe enemies on there all the time spawning in or something. At least then it'd be somewhere you know you can go and get some engagements. Moving on to AI. The AI will get an update to enable them to use a wide array of weapons. At the moment, they seem to use pretty much one, which is, I think it's the bearing. Be nice to see them using handguns and different guns to mix it up a little bit. And also that gives you the advantage also of once you killed them to pick that weapon up. Expect to see an update to the NPC and civilians, and that's across the whole entire game itself. Yep, we all know they need to be done. Sometimes they are under the floor. They don't look quite right. FPS cover system V1 comes into play. That gives the ability for the NPCs to basically use cover and be a little bit more realistic than just standing there while you shoot them. Moving on to the gameplay side. Now this is really, really good. One of the things that I think most people, and we all feel the same, that we need more core gameplay. I know they're developing the game, but if they could introduce some more core gameplay, it just makes it a little bit more exciting. There's more to do while we're waiting for the game to be completed. So on the gameplay, there's actually 12 entries here. The first one is the prison mission. So I'm really looking forward to that. I can't wait. I believe looking at the presentation, you've actually got to be in prison to actually get the mission in the first place. Next up is dynamic mission system economy generated missions. So that will be point A is running low on X material. So it will generate a mission for their materials. That's really good as well. That just moves us away from just doing cargo runs back and forward all the time. Looking forward to that. Absolutely. That'd be really cool to have a mission list where you can actually go through and deliver some materials based off in-game generated missions. Expect to see an overhaul of the restricted areas. These have got better over the period of time. Still think they need a little bit more work. Next up, this is quite an interesting one, the dynamic mission system. This is the mission generated along QT routes. That's pretty cool. I'm hoping it takes you out of QT, i.e. you might get a mission in QT and you get a mission and you can drop out and complete that mission. 100% think it's important for them to focus on what's actually between the jump points and quantuming. Deep space is between the locations, and I've seen a lot of games in the past where, although they do have lots of locations you can jump to, there's not that much between them physical jump points. And I think this is the sort of first step in introducing content between them locations to make it a little bit more viable for you to go to, I'm going to say, the middle of nowhere, really. Next up, we have got a big one here. This is the commodity transfer timer. So this is how long it takes to load the physical cargo. At the moment, you just go and select your cargo no matter what size the ship is, and then bang, it's in the cargo hold. So the commodity transfer timer, there will be a timer to load that ship. Totally makes sense. You can't expect to be flying a whole E and just instantly click on load and it all appears. There's going to have to be a timer. I suppose the interesting in this one is going to be the timing. What Star Citizen are going to set as the timing off the bat. Going to be interesting. Next up is the accounting app. I think we're all looking forward to this. We're all going to use this in game. This will be all your finances, all your information. This won't just display your financial information. This will also show you everything from recurring rentals, insurance, organization membership, fees, associated benefits. You'll be able to activate or cancel any of these as well within the app. Positive first step, I would say. We've seen many billboards around in Star Citizen, and we've all asked ourselves the question, what are they going to be later on down the line? In this patch, in 3.9, we will see economy display terminals, hoping to see them on the billboards as well. This will give you real-time economy information, including pricing, mission payouts, retail sale and events, and most importantly, it will also tell you the threats in the particular areas. Next in line, we have PvP bounties. There's going to be some updates and some additions here as well. Updates to the death animations. So this would be the ragdoll effect when you physically die, and this could also apply to a player. This will also affect your character because there will be bleeding and death animations. So when you're lying on the floor, there will be a pool of blood. Updates to the player status system V1, they're calling it. We've not seen this updated for quite some time now, so it'd be nice to see a bit of a refresh and update. Repair, refuel, restock from the kiosks. Next up is bounty mission NPCs improvements. So that's everything we've got on the gameplay side. There's quite a lot in 3.9 from, I would say, from a gameplay point of view. The ships that we can expect to see in that patch, as we all know, there could be a surprise one in there. Most of the time they do go straight to concept into game. The main ones we're going to see in 3.9 is going to be the Cutlass Blue, and that's going to be the rework. The Drake Vulture, also improvements to the M50. Really hope they don't go too far on that one. I would prefer maybe a texture interior update, sort of graphical pass, rather than them going too far on it personally, but we'll have to wait and see. We've got 4 weapons coming into the game, a variety of ship weapons and also rifles. Moving on to the core tech, door system improvements, large-scale shadow improvements, and then, as normal, we've got performance and optimization. I prefer these updates where we get a lot more gameplay, because it's more for us to see. Although I do like looking around the ships, obviously that is great fun, but the gameplay loops, end of the day, is probably what's going to bring you back. That is going to be quite a significant and big patch. Moving on to quarter 2 and starting off with the characters, there's 2 new mission givers coming into play. Moving on to locations, we're going to finally get Crusader and also a Crusader landing zone. Next up is AI. This will be the first introduction of AI atmospheric combat. FPS combat behavior V2. I think we all know the AI do need a little bit of an update. Undoubtedly, they need to be way more intelligent, I would say. At the moment, they're not massively challenging, so 100% welcome for them to be updating the FPS combat behaviors. Fighter AI improvements and polishing, and the final one under AI will be FPS combat improvements and polishing. Overall, I'll tell you what, next year's looking pretty cool. Let's move into the gameplay features we're going to be seeing. We've got the 0G push and pull, ship-to-ship docking. This next one, we're all looking forward to this one. This is the multi-crew expanded roles. A security system will be added into the game. The security system controls who has access to areas. So this could be, ownership key cards you might have to have. Could be a wealth of other reasons. If you're in one of them areas and you don't have authorized access, it would automatically allocate you with a warning that you're breaking the law. If you ignore this, it will then allocate yourself with a crime stat and probably expect the security forces to be on their way. Next up in line is Salvage V1. This will be implementing the mechanics required for players to be able to strip materials from ships' hulls. This system will be designed to accommodate players who are on foot or in a ship. Players will have to scan the environment to find the salvageable debris. Once harvested, unrefined materials can be sold at a kiosk. One thing it doesn't say here though, will you better blow up someone's ship and then salvage their ship or their materials? We'll have to wait and see when we get close to the time, and hopefully we get a little bit more information on that. Another quite sizable one here as well, which is the NPC healing. This is expanding on the healing gameplay to allow players to use items with healing properties, like med pens on other players and also on NPCs. That's going to be interesting. And we've only got one ship in 4.0. Hopefully they bring a few more in, and that's going to be the Hercules Starlifter. We've got one new weapon coming into the game. And then finally, on the core tech side, Npc Scheduler. The Npc Scheduler is meant to add and remove NPCs to the game, dynamically spawning them in and out based on NPCs archetype. This determines the maximum number of NPCs in a given area based on the ratio of physical players. This also will take into account of performance. I guess ultimately this will have quite huge performance increases in the game, because then obviously the AI are loading in when there's actually someone there rather than there's no one in this whole entire area. 2 more to go. We've got this shield system tech replacement. I'm looking forward to that. Hopefully it brings some of the ships in line with how they should be performing. And also this new shield tech that comes into play. I'm hoping that it removes the bubble, i.e. the gap that you can push in and shoot a ship, because that can be quite annoying. So that's a welcome change. We're going to see server to client anchor network rework. This is improving the downstream part of the networking. This will improve the positioning and movement of other players and NPCs, helping to reduce basically lag and also instances of rubber banding. And likewise, there will be performance increases and upgrades as they normally do. Overall, the next 2 months look pretty exciting. And I think for me, the main reason I'm looking forward to them is the gameplay loops. There's so much gameplay coming in them 2 chunks there that's actually going to give you quite a lot to do with already what we have in game anyway. So I'm really looking forward to that. The final thing as well, don't forget to hit the bell icon, guys. That's it from me. Thanks for listening, and don't forget to subscribe. Bye now.